You know, that's a tradition that was put off a little bit by COVID, but it's back.
Well, like everything else. Let's go.
You could sell your wetsuits there.
And the weather is absolutely awesome. Let's go ahead and look outside. And you can see right there. There it is. Just another beautiful beauty shot as I put my little earpiece back in that just flew out of my head. All right, there it is. And again, a nice day. Now, this is a bit different than what we saw yesterday as we had the wind really kicking into gear. So humidity levels were bone dry. Now we're starting to see the first sort of inklings and temperatures, even though they're about where they were yesterday. Those little minuses tell us we're starting to see the little turn to more of a westerly influence, and that's just the key to the wind. If it stays north or northeast, then it's offshore. As soon as it gets that west kick in it, and you can see right there, that starts to bring down some of the beach communities, which looks more in line with what we should see. More of a sea breeze starts to go into gear. Now, last night when I did these temperatures, they were all 80s and 90s. We still have those 80s and 90s, but a couple of 70s are breaking in. Even though Pismo, look at that, another night of offshore winds. I want to point out where the offshore winds blew all night. We had lows in the 70s, if you can believe that. It just did not want to cool off. And as soon as those winds did die, we actually got some patchy clouds really close to the beach and just so isolated. Really amazing to see. And you can see right there, there's the cat and mouse with the onshore offshore flow, Gaviota to Goleta. Santa Barbara kind of sitting in the middle of that with the 73, but that 85 to 69, you just can't see that enough and really be amazed at how much those winds play such a big role in our little microclimatology around this beautiful region. So Goleta, light wind, Gaviota, fairly decent wind, but again, I want to point out no advisories. You can see the dryness though because of that, but those areas like say Lompoc, Oxnard, back up toward Morro Bay, that's the areas where we might get some marine layer trying to work its way in. Still seeing those storms to the north, and I put storm to the north. We've actually had several. That lines you up for the winds, but right now they are weakening, so we'll go with a breezy and nice Sunday. It looks like a nice day setting up for tomorrow. Really no big shocks to the system. Again, we could see a little bit of marine layer, and again, we could also be dealing with these winds where at any time the National Weather Service could see the criteria going above maybe 30, 35 miles an hour, and they might issue a couple of wind advisories. Right now, that's not the case. So let's look at the cloud cover, the much needed rainfall way to the north, and there's your fog trying to work its way back in with that northerly flow. Some areas will obviously be void of any fog, but most areas should start to see the marine layer coming back in next week, especially as that northwest flow can sometimes generate a little southerly countercurrent. That's your Catalina eddy. So that's all the telltale signs of a little bit of May gray trying to show up. And as we head through tomorrow, you can see there it is. Some fog is possible. It's not real widespread. Backs off by the afternoon like you expect. And then perhaps Monday we see just a bit more of it trying to show up across the region through the morning hours, just kind of mixing in with some of that northerly wind where it will kind of gouge the fog out where the winds are light. As you can see right here, that will allow, or at least westerly winds, that will allow the marine layer to try to work its way in to some of our coastal areas, maybe even the coastal valleys, which would be really nice because that means everybody gets a little cooler. So let's keep our fingers crossed that we keep those north winds out of the mix. Here are your temperatures tomorrow, reflecting that sort of mismatch of wind versus what direction you're dealing with. And look at the highs tomorrow. You can see definitely seeing a little bit of a hit to all the warmth out there. It looks maybe in our southern areas that's not the case, but then by Monday, everybody should start to back those temperatures off, even those areas that hold on to a little bit of warmth tomorrow. Although the south coast, you might go back up, and that's because another little burst of north wind is possible. So we have to be on our toes here in the Weather Center. There's your highs expected for the Santa Barbara South Coast on a beautiful Sunday. We're halfway through the month, aiming toward June. North to northwest winds are really not overly strong, and they should be fairly mild, so that means we don't expect any real wind concerns, although the National Weather Service in both our northern areas and our southern areas are saying that it's official. We are on definitely heightened fire concerns, and that probably will just stay in play until we get some rain next season, which seems like a long ways away. Surf, definitely a little small, but we do expect to see more wind swell and southern hemisphere swell. And I'd like to point out with personal experience, the water temps have crashed the last day or two. Today was downright freezing. So I'm hoping that we get some warmer water soon, because it was actually shocking how cold it was. And staying warm for Santa Barbara with that northerly flow. Marine layers should start to knock back on the door as we head through the next few days. And you can see San Ynez, Ventura. We'll see if we can sneak in Santa Maria real quick, just so we cover all of our bases here. And look at that, nice trends all the way across, fairly quiet, always the north wind. And with heightened fire concern, we will be so vigilant with that northerly wind. I mean, we just don't need it. We don't want it. So I'm hoping it goes away, but I know it won't, so we'll keep an eye out for it all week.
It's been the windiest spring that I remember.
Well, I think even the winter season.
Yeah, you're right.
Wind.
Yeah. Oh, my goodness. All right. Thank you so much. Coming right up, kids get a chance to touch a truck, in this case, a fire truck and a school bus, all kinds of trucks. We will take you to the event in Solvang.